Everybody, today we're going to continue part 2 of our 3Racing Sakura D5S Drift Kit build. And today we're going to be working on the front and rear suspension assembly, which is part 2. We're going to be doing pages 4, 5, and 6. It's quite a few steps, so let's get started. Okay, so on this page, we're going to start on the rear suspension arms. We're going to start on the left side, and then we're just going to flip it, duplicate it, and do the right side. And then on the next page, these are the front suspension arms. Here we're going to put on the mounts, and then on the next page, we're going to actually mount the front and rear arms, left and right, onto the chassis. So we're going to start right here. All right, looks like I have all the pieces here. I have the 2 pieces of the arm and the lower and the upper stiffener. So let's get started with this step right here. We're going to put these 2 pieces on top of it and 1 screw each on the bottom. And there we go. We have 1 arm. This is the left rear. Let's go ahead and build the front arm. The left arm, right arm. All right, this is what it's going to look like. Let's go ahead and do the rest of these steps for this arm. First, we're going to do is connect the ball stud. Then we're going to put a pin through. And then a spacer in the front and rear. Just one of these plastic ones, front and rear. So when you're done, it should look something like that. Let's move on to the right side. Remember, the right side is going to be the opposite of the left side. So you don't want to build it exactly the same. You want to build it in the opposite orientation. So you can see where these holes in the brace here. This side's on the left, this side's going to be on the right. And then the top piece is here and there. All right, now we have both arms. We have the left and the right. We're ready to move on to the opposite page where we're going to build the front arms. All right, we're ready to work on the front arms, and front arms are assembled a little bit differently than the rear ones. First thing we're going to do is thread this set screw into the front arm. And you can see I have a caliper here. That's because we need to have about 6 millimeters of this set screw exposed. Okay, I think that's as close as I'm going to get. Then we're going to thread the ball end on. And again, you want to break out this wrench from the blast bag, I believe, where the hex wrench is. This is the purpose of that black wrench I talked about. So there we go. And make sure it's touching 0 millimeter, and make sure it's lined up so it's parallel. This hole is parallel with this hole, for example. Okay, ready to go. Okay, next we're going to drive a ball stud here and here. Lastly, we're going to put the pin through and put a spacer on each side. Okay, and we're done. Let's go ahead and start mounting the arms onto the chassis. Okay, so make sure you orient your chassis properly. The bottom where you're going to drive the screws from is countersunk. And this is the top, this is the front, and the wider side is the rear. So we're going to put 2 screws onto these. Make sure the hole is facing both the front and the rear, respectively. And so let's go ahead and put those screws on. Okay, when you're done, it should look something like this. Again, make sure the holes are facing the front and the rear. Let's move on to the next page. Okay, next we're going to mount the front arms first. So be careful not to drop the spacers. And the side with the ball stud is going to face the front of the car. So let me flip this one over. So that one's going to go there. And actually this step is a little bit tricky. It's a little tricky to place this on, and actually it's a little bit easier if you went in the opposite sequence instead. If we put this piece on before those two, it's actually easier, but we're going to follow the manual. So make sure you pick up the one that says FF 0 degrees. And just going to slip this on there. And try to set it down at the same time. Okay. I have it threaded now, but now I need to seat it into those 2 holes. So this is the tricky part. Okay. There you go. Make sure it's all the way in. The back side is very similar. Again, the side with the ball stud will be facing outward. And I accidentally doubled up the spacer on one side. Let me fix that. There we go. Okay. And again, make sure this piece says RR plus 2.5 degrees. Okay, again, make sure the arms have full motion. All right, and we're done with part 2 of this 3Racing Sakura D5S build. Thanks for watching this video. If you're building along with me and you have any other questions, please leave a comment below. I'll be happy to answer your questions. Drop this video a like if it helped you at all. Subscribe if you'd like to see the rest of this series and other videos we're going to be building on my channel. So thanks for watching again. I'll see you guys in the next one.